My name is Jessica Holyfield, and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the Southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at Stray Kids' track entitled JAM, the dance practice. I'm always looking forward to a good fixed cam, one take perspective where I get to really appreciate the choreography. Just the chorus alone just sent me into a frenzy, as you guys hopefully had seen already. There are some overlapping qualities of my personal choreo I have done to JAM and what they are going to be presenting, so I cannot wait to dive into that. Without further ado, let's get started. That was pretty immediate. I wonder where they are. It doesn't feel familiar. Okay. I like the subtlety of that to build it. It's cool. Spread it out. Here we go. That was clean. All right, rock and bounce. Let's see it. There's your rock, there's your bounce. Okay. There's Dance Racha right there. That's fun. I know JAM was structured in the song to represent each representative Racha. Fun. Now, they're not doing baby steps there, but I would like to petition, if you are a stay, if you could help advocate on my behalf to add little baby steps into that section. I think it would just be very fitting, but that's just me. So the structure of it, that's very cute. The structure of it is pretty, I mean, it's high energy, as you can tell. Yeah, for sure, they're tired. It's pretty simple, if I'm being honest. I think, like, if I'm also being quite frank, if they weren't wearing an obviously different color, it would be hard to catch your feature. So that would be an in general note for this choreo specifically. It does give B-side energy of attention, I guess is kind of my overlying point. This rock right here is really nice. I like the rock and bounce with the clap, super fun, love that. They do a lot of this type of imagery, which makes so much sense because JAM, like peanut butter, jelly time, all that kind of stuff. I love a lot of the little peekaboo moments of the Racha representation, I think is great. And I'm not dogging at all the fact that this is simpler in comparison to like Chick Chick Boom and Thunderous and some of their other title works. I would consider this as a strong B-side, right? I mean, if you're looking at structures of what gets promoted, and it doesn't have that same degree of like what's the word? Levels, the staging. It feels just more like a jam session, I think is kind of what the vibe of it is, which could be the intention, which, hey, I think there's beauty to be had in that, just like there's beauty in the chick chick boom, or in the thunderous structure, or in the Miro structure, District 9, you know, like every track has beauty in the art and how it is chosen to be formatted. So in the case here, I think my only note is that if I didn't know the members and I didn't know who was singing what, there are some sections where it would be difficult for me to know who is singing at this point. And so those are little things that choreographically are, for me, I try to make a priority when I choreograph. With features, you want it to be very clear who is who. And I know some members are subjected to wanting to mouth lyrics when other members are going. That could confuse people as well. So, but that's just an observation, nothing crazy. The slowness here, boom and boom, more whole counts, which is fun, that's fine. The little punch, boom, with the reset of the arm, and then we go into a transition. You have a basic V going on here as well. I like that little subtlety right here with the little baby hinge. You do notice that everyone's taking a very individualized approach. Hyunjin, it feels like he's in a completely different world of doing the choreo compared to Lino, right? Now, I do know Lino is meant for more of the dance teacher role. He's the one that kind of teaches and refines with everybody, whoever needs the assistance on it. Hyunjin definitely has his own unique texture and posture and movement quality. Remember, I've looked quite at everybody's movement quality quite extensively at this point, so I'm not coming at this empty-handed, I promise. But those little details are what's going to cater into your concept, right? So here, it's not really meant to be clean, like super, super clean, you know, because if you think about Jam, the entire context of the music video was just slimy and attractive, right? And sticky, and you don't think clean with that. You think it's causing mayhem, it's causing things to become unhinged. So having that kind of unrefinement of clarification on how to do certain textures, I think is totally fine here. So he comes up, that little finger licking, yeah, I think that was fun. Then we hit it to the side and a little tap, tap, tap. I like the subtlety, the speed change as they expand out. Finding Changbin, nothing easy, nothing difficult there. Now there, I feel like we have those that are hitting, boom, up, boom. So it's just like rock and balance is heavily represented, which I'm always a fan of. Yeah, and some people kind of alternate between doing their arms when others don't, vice versa. So there's like a little note there that I don't mind. I'm curious if they planned that, or at least the mirrors matching. It was kind of what it looks like. They're turning through, really cool. They all turn, really nice. They go up, da-da-da-da-da-da. Now here, they all go away. Bye-bye. And then the only person that's still maintaining forward is Sungmin right there, right? So they're away. So sitting it back. Dee-dee-da-da. Some of the details of the ISOs or like the hands are unfortunately getting a bit lost because of the unrefinement of everything else. It's hard for us to focus on those details. That's just a note. That is not in any way saying they need to change anything. It's just, that's probably why this stuff, it may come across a little bit harder to read, is because your body and your brain is there. You're being attracted to different focal points outside of the intricacies of the hands. And so whether or not that was the intention, I didn't choreograph it. I mean, I choreographed something that could fit in this choreo, which makes me feel really good, but they didn't ask me, so I couldn't verify any of this information for you. It's just educated guessing. Yeah, dun, 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 the double up on that looks fine. Yeah, the switch, and then the invert it right there with the knees. I like that. That looks good. And then right there, I like the opposite with the cross back on that. And the throw was cool. And then from there, notice they transfer the energy over to Hyunjin, right? Now, who is singing that, right? Hyunjin, I'm assuming. But you know who was mouthing the words? Ian. So that's why it was hard for me to know. But yes, it's on the music video. I think Hyunjin was what? Mopping the floor with some freaking green slime from Nickelodeon, something like that. I like that. They go hit, click, click. Nice. So they're just doing arm mannerisms to kind of match his overall wordplay. Yeah, but now what were they doing here? There's just a lot of unrefined choices in the hands. Yeah, which, I mean, to each their own. They can do whatever they want. They're Stray Kids. Oh, hold on. Oh my gosh, I keep missing the actual part. Da-da-da, da-da-da. So, okay, so they take the hand, they grab it, they bring it in, out, and then they make it a nice little melding moment. Hyunjin is the only one who doesn't do that, which makes him clock as a feature. Now they all drop low, boom, and they're moving through, and he's right there in the line, so that's Felix's turn here. So far, so good. Nothing too crazy, so loud. So this was nice where they go, and I like the transition where they go inside, and then they do a mirror to the outside to create a fun visual, and then they end up turning it to a fun V. So I really like the structure of that. That's cool. And Felix doesn't have to really do anything. He can just kind of be hanging out there, and they're naturally mirroring him, and they're making it to where they maintain symmetry and balance, which is what makes his moment feel good, because he has an anticlimactic presence about him, which helps allow us to appreciate the transition more for that reason, which I really like. He goes up, so he threw his arm up, they all dropped lower, that was fun. Yeah, da 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 da, which is fun. The accent there, he looks in, da da da, yeah. Peanut butter, so they roll around, peanut butter. You have Lena right here, jelly time. You have to stay together day and night, so they all rotate down. And they roll back in, da 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 da, with the accent, with the hands, up with the knees. Time just spread. Subtlety here, you have all your dancers coming in, locked and loaded. So he's not doing anything crazy. They're all doing, you know, the torso, a little bit of legato tracing down the chest and the torso, which is nice. Here we go. Then we go hit and slap it, and then here we go. And then they rotate it up. Now the real question is, what is going on with Hyunjin? Hyunjin, I think, is doing a mix of like glitching, or he's taking, not really glitching, he's just, there's a lot of energy going in his body, and because he's in the middle, it's not really an issue. Yeah, but there's just, I know he has like this vibration, doo-doo-doo-doo. It kind of feels like, you ever see like a really excited puppy dog and they're just so excited to be there? It's kind of the type of texture that Hyunjin is showcasing here, which I think is totally fine. I think it's cool. He goes up, da-da-da. It matches the da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, which is nice. We're here for it. Sticky, 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 yeah, with a throw, waving it out and bringing it in, and he's not doing the same thing as everybody else 100%, and it doesn't matter, like, they don't have to, because of everything that I talked about before. So it's just, we're just catching what makes them all look different, but it still is cohesive because of the type of concept it is. So right here, da-da-da, got them. Now that part is a little bit hard to catch who your feature is, right? I know we can clock that's like Han's voice, but everyone's having their own little vibe, and then you have Changbin moving forward, but you still don't technically know who your feature in this moment is at all. I think it's kind of like between Changbin and Han, and then you have Hyunjin right here in the middle again. Now who's our feature? Yeah, I think that's what kind of I was clocking was, you know, if the intention is it shouldn't matter who the feature is, we're just here, look at us as a collective, then this is a really smart choice, because they don't give me the freedom to find who you want me to find, right? And then of course in music shows, they could clock them to where with the camera where it's easier to find them, but in the choreography, if you just have a fixed cam, which is what we're seeing, and at concerts, you'll see it in this kind of format, maybe a little modified because of the stage that they'll have. If it goes back to, like I said, if you want this to be seen as it's group choreo, yes, I'm technically singing, but the goal is not for me to be featured in this moment in this way. We want to feature me a little bit later on. You sold me. Like this is a good case of that, which is fine. Then you have your dancers wrapping around the outside, which is fine. The throw is fun. I like the accent there. And then here it does look like, is that Lino singing or is that Bangchan? There's like little things, it's just little things like that. Like Lino's the one mouthing the words, Bangchan is not. So we don't technically know who is it, you know, and remember, yes, I've seen them. Yes, I could probably assume who it is, but I'm looking at it from the lens on if I was just a regular hidey-ho human who didn't know who they were, and I hear people singing, I don't know who to look for, you know? And so it goes back to, it really does give the impression that we're supposed to look at everybody as a group, which is exactly what we're seeing here, which is cool. And from here, they do a little bust down. That's what that feels like. And of course, I think Bangchan just kind of stumbled to get his bearing there. Jimmy Ja. I really like this choice of the body roll. And then they slap. As if really we're going more forearm on some of their choices. They clap. Now that was really clean. I like being able to appreciate that here in comparison to the music video, because you couldn't really clock that part. Like the ISO separation of the lower half of the body was really crisp there. So I love that. And then a little brush was nice. Oh my god. Oh, I didn't clock the first time. I did a brush. Look at the jam. I looked down, look at the jam, and I brushed too. Yeah, little jam. It's fun, conversational. We move out the way. Yeah. Cool, so there you go, you have your dancers, boom, bass, and then you double it up, so you have an add-on starting from the outside, and then they travel it in. Just some bounces, taking your arms and moving them up. Nothing crazy. Some of our guys are displacing different energy in different parts. Some are putting more energy in the arms than others, little things like that. Cool. Yeah, bring it up, and then it just felt like a cannon of sorts, and then you had the back row finish. So these two go in. It's very clear to see who your features are. Why? Because of what they're wearing, but also in the formation, it's very clear and readable, where you have Sungmin facing back, Ian facing front. He's doing arms that are controlling the outside dancers. Looks fine, looks cool. The bleeds are cool. The melts on that are also really nice. Coming back in. This right here, boom and da-da, very chill. Yeah. And I also want to ask the question, I'm curious about the turnaround time for this choreography, because they're prepping for the album, prepping for, I know at the time they had Lollapalooza, and so, and at that point, they just released Chick Chick Boom, so I know that this was in the works. There were a lot of, I'm assuming there was a lot of stuff that had to be filmed in a very short amount of time. So did this one get as much love as Chick Chick Boom? I personally don't think so. Do I think it needs to? No, I don't. I think that with this, because like I said, the type of concept it is, it doesn't have to have that degree of crispness. Now, if there is certain crisp moments, like what we saw with the isolated lower half, I want to be able to appreciate that as a viewer or as an analyst, which I was able to in this moment. So I feel like they were able to focus on what they needed to, but even the dancers, we know the dancers can do a ton, but are they needing to do that? I mean, for me, I kind of feel like they're filling up and creating a nice, you know, just nice fullness in the space. The look around through, setting it up, turn around. Like, that's probably one of the simplest things you've ever seen the Stray Kids format do ever. Like, that right there was just a basic canon into pulses, and that was it. And they said bye-bye. So that was your vocal rachas, what that felt like, right? With Sungmin and Ian, they said bye-bye. And then right here, you have dance rachas. So I know this is, we're now showcasing the different rachas. And then for me, I am curious as to why Bang Chan did not join in on the sriracha, but that's okay. He comes in after everybody, which is fine. Now here, they're right there. They are technically doing, I think they're doing a little sea walk, I think is what that is, and they bring it back. So I like the rock accent that the dancers had on that moment. Then they bring it around. Now this right here, because of how choppy it is, you could go Reebok, but sometimes would say that's like a Cabbage Patch. It just depends on who you learn it from. It was originally called a Cabbage Patch, but then it was redacted and reformed into a Reebok. So I think that feels more Reebok than Cabbage Patch, but go be curious about it yourself, which validates the point for me. I did say we're checking Felix and we're checking this part. Is there a groove in it? I feel like there's a subtle groove. Is there enough for us to go, wow, they're grooving? I mean, I feel like they're doing enough for the choreography section of it, because you don't want it to be so groovy that it takes away from the other elements in which they set it up with. But it's definitely, they're not stiff as a board, which is, you know, for me, if you're going to talk about rock bounce and groove, and it's the dance racha, showcase the rock bounce and the groove, and I think they are, which is good. And then the dancers are picking it up. I think where they were doing like a, if they went over, yeah, they're doing a Mary J. Blige in the back, which is this right here. That little move right there. They do a little cross step, and then I like the swing of the arms down. That's really nice. He comes back up right here. Boom, boom. This right here feels like we're doing a little shmoney, but different type of footwork, but the upper body feels that way. So it's pretty hybrid in general, and that right there, I don't know if we were doing like the smallest walk it out in the world or what. Yeah, we just did a little switch up of the feet. Normally you'd see that way spread apart on that. Nothing crazy though. But notice that a lot of these moves that they're doing have a apparent fundamental that we can very easily cite or say that there's a potential that was referenced here, which means we're on brand with what he's talking about, and that in the type of backtrack we're dealing with as well, which is cool. The subtlety there, I like the pickup on that. That's really nice. I like the usage of the torso in that. Thank you for that. The turn is cool. Say what? I like the levels represented. Looks great. The dancers go outside to inside. They have their nice moment of level representation. I like that choice, hitting that back track very well. They come back in, and then they go represent, thread it around the back. They go up in. I like this not symmetry, but definitely the balance of representing on both sides. Looks great. Come back in, and they go. It does look like the members, Dance Racha, are doing their hands to control the dancers. In that moment there, we pull in, bring it up, over. I like the reset there is nice. Definitely the genre feels like it's changed, so the movement is going to feel a little bit more, it's going to feel more syncopated. It's not going to have the rock and bounce as much here because there's no sound in the tonal color percussion in the back that would justify that choice. So they have to modify the choreo to match what's going on in the music, which is exactly what we're seeing. So that gets a thumbs up for me. So it feels very intentional, you know what I mean? And this is the beauty of marathoning groups, especially groups like Stray Kids, where they have a lot of material. I know what they can do, and there's not many things that they can't, which is a really great compliment to them, which is why for me, I'm thinking there is a huge logistic concept choice made here, not a incompetency. I never once thought it was an incompetent thing. Even all of my notes are things that I'm like, I'm not really 100%, what's the word? I'm not emotionally invested one way or another. I think like this is a great choreo for them. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I hope they do it on their tour. I think they should. It makes me encouraged knowing that a lot of their elements that they did, we got to see see in the music video. And I think out of all the things that we see in the choreo, the things they put in the music video were very well placed. How they were shot were freaking sick. And I think there were some really great elements that we got to show off, really cool cinematic effects through the structure of the choreo, but also showcase their competency of craft as well. So all of that to say, like, I'm here for this. I think this is great. Is this my favorite choreography of Stray Kids? I don't think so, but I think that it's very appropriate for the type of track it is for sure. I think this is a fantastic track, which is cool. Yeah. Yeah, I know, you know, Lino, of course we point, goes, I know, you know. They point to Lino because that is Lino. So they move over to the side, they all go away, and then you have your Sriracha, with the exception of Bangchan. And notice I really love the wordplay. I said it in the music video analysis where they're talking about the drum and bass, and that's exactly the type of genre and the backbeat it is. So cool. Wordplay is great. I like the pass off on there. Everybody runs back on. I love the little little bird run. It's fun. Very cipher oriented is what it feels like, right? Where you have two of them spitting for each other, and then you have everybody ciphering around, or they're kind of semicircling around and creating a fun space. And I like the opposition with the throws. Simple but effective. You ain't got to do too much. You don't want to do too much, because at this point you don't want to do anything that's super overly complicated, in which we're gonna see that. But I do have some actual notes to give them about their waving specifically as a waver. Is what I'm gonna talk through. But the complexity of it is not necessarily like this. It's just like one element to showcase the beauty of complexity, but it's its own moment, and you don't want to have it embellished throughout because of how they set up everything else. It gets its own special section. It shouldn't be this complex thing all throughout the entire track for what it is and what they're trying to justify. The throw through. So yeah, Lino's mouthing the words, so is Bangchan, you know, so it's just, once again, not quite sure who your feature is until that moment right there. I like the reach right there, looks nice. And we bring it over every time. Whenever we're talking about the wrist, you know, time a lot of times is kept there on a watch, oh my God, a watch, and go spread. So the subtlety here with the dancers nice and low, I appreciate that, but you also have dancers in the back that provide more fullness of the space, which is nice. And then and they have knee slides right there, tracing it down just like what you've seen already. And then he takes it, he places it, he goes swipe, jam. And I'm just curious about what the hand is specifically doing here, because I don't think it's this. I think it's something to do with the point, but I could be so wrong. We're gonna look at Lino. It's like here, and then we rotate it. And then we bring it through. Okay, and then we just pulse it right after. Okay, cool. We're here for it. But then notice how Lino, he adds extra leverage with the extra arm, but Hyunjin doesn't, he isolates it. So those are like two instances of, they're technically doing two different moves, if you look right there. So look, Hyunjin has it isolated, separated, like we're pushing a horn, and then you have Lino where he's using his back and using both arms, look. Yeah, so you notice how one of them has more of a stiffness, so Hyunjin doesn't have as much of a drive in his body like Lino does in this moment. Both are fine, like I said, but it's things that we just got to take note of, that if you're learning this choreo like myself, that would be something that would be confusing to me. So what's the solution to that? Go look at the previous course and look at others and find the common denominator. For me, I know with Lino, he's considered the dance teacher. He's the one that goes over a lot of movement. I would normally just follow him if I need a clarification. I like this choice. I also like this choice. So I would just say whoever you choose to follow, go with what they're doing and you'll be mighty fine. If they're not doing it 100% clean, you don't have to do it 100% clean. And I think that's okay. I like that choice, where they go. Nice little, I mean, wouldn't even give it zigzag wave. They're just adding some fluidity in the arms to present out in their layers. And then they go, little shoot out of that. Yeah, Still petitioning for really, really small feet. I think that would make me really happy as an individual who put that in my own work. And it's just something that just feels very fun and childish, I think. And I think they would be totally killing it. But this little rock right here, it's of no qualms to me. It looks fine. Boom. With the double throw is fine. Look at the jam, offbeat. And he's doing kind of his own thing, which I think is fine. So they do scoop, they throw around, everybody. Now this part here, we are going to slow it down because this is where your complexity comes in, your dance break. This is really the only time where we see like heavy, complex justification in play on the polyrhythm side. So here, they're doing they're doing a wave. I did this in my own Just Choreo, which is why I clocked it and got really excited. When you do this, you want to make sure it connects through the arms, regardless if it's a fist or if it's flat hand. You want it to make sense and not get cut off and flow in the middle. So that'll be my note there. It does get cut off just a smidge because the reason why is your timing will get off. If some people have it fluid and some people get it all chopped up, it's going to mess the flow up, literally. Then we reset it, and I like how we reset it. Boom, we use that as a trigger to rotate out where Felix is in the center, which is nice. Now, my note for him, I'm assuming he's doing a wave, entrance to exit on either side. I think he needs to refine his elbow. I noticed it in the music video, and I'm talking about it here because we see it in a fixed cam format. He's technically, I mean, it looks like he's doing 2 exit waves, but I don't know if he's supposed to be doing, well, let's check what everybody else is doing. Hold on. So they're going dee-dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee-dee. They're traveling entrance exit both times. So that means Felix technically needed to go entrance exit, but he did 2 exits, which is why it felt off compared to everybody else. So that would be my note to Felix, is being mindful of the positioning or the order of the joints and having them connect all the way through. So as we go, and making sure that we don't chop off the chest or the back. We don't go shoulder shoulder, we go shoulder chest to shoulder, or we go shoulder back. So we always want to have something that connects in the middle. Just like we want this to connect in some way, you want this to connect. And the only reason, I'm being honest, the only reason why I'm being very constructive about this particular thing is I noticed it in the music video, and I am a part of the waving community and waving culture. This is my niche of style specifically, and as an advocate for street dance, this is an important thing that gets overlooked often when you learn waving, is connection of flow. And so that's my in general note to Felix specifically about that. And how I'm clocking it is because of what everybody else is doing, and he's supposed to be doing something that looks like a certain degree of control of everybody else. Is that like he needs to change it right now? No, it's just something, if he chose to want to refine that, if you wanted to find a way to refine it, that would be my suggestion to him. Bring it up. Now that was nice. I love that part. Do-do-do-do-do-do with the head. Really fun with the stability on. That's really cool. Then right here, they use it, boom, and then they start pulsing. Really cool. Love that choice. Then right here, it turns into a cannon. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Really nice. Very tricky to catch that, right? Really nice. Then da-da-da-da-da. Oh my gosh. Okay, it went from 0.75 to literally 2 times speed. Here we go. So this is a cannon. I like the bounce on that. So shout out to everybody for having great balance. I think they're all balancing on their left leg, which interestingly enough, whenever in studio dance, a lot of times people are dominant on turning on the right side, which means their preparation is with their left foot. So they balance on the left foot. So it doesn't surprise me that the left foot is what we're opting for here, because I can balance more on my left, more so than my right, especially now because my right foot has like a chronic ankle injury. So yep, da-da-da-da, right there into a little dab action here. Into this part I find interesting, rotation around. It does, I don't quite know how the rotation is supposed to look. Let's see. It feels like we were just, not like a true figure 8, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like a switch up on that, and then we end up finishing rolling it through. So it's like a little rotation mixed with actually rolling it into a little threading influence, I think is what that's giving energy wise. Da-da-da, 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 is what Changbin just did. Okay, and we roll it out, boom, ha, boom. So really nice, very quick on that. That part was probably one of the coolest parts in the music video, is that mess right there. So cool, dance break done, we love it. Party mode. Also, notice how freaking compact this is. I'm curious whenever they do this on tour, which would be a very safe assumption, might as well, it's the 8 tour. Let's throw in some jam and some mountain and all that mess. This is a very constrained kind of room, so the dancers are really close to the members. So I have a feeling if we had more prep time, we had and more space, this could look a little bit different in the format for sure. And that's life, it happens. So maybe on tour it'll feel different. Of course, with the energy of the room really plays a huge role. I like this rock, dancers with their arms up. Then you have that little trot happening with a swing, jimmy, yeah. With the knees is nice. I like that part, boom, jimmy, yeah, and then we elevate it and we crescendo it, making it a little bit more full, then catch up. I like the lift, and then we drop, having an accent, dancers go back to the floor, Stray Kids are still standing, what is it, dori, jam, jam, this, dori, jam, I think that's, someone told me that dori, jam is like a little thing that you do with little kids, so that I think that's what they're doing choreographically, is that, so That's what we're gonna assume. Makes total sense. I like it. It's cool, and I like how everybody just drops the freak out. I bet Stray Kids also wants to drop out. Because it's exhausting. You're absolutely right. Like, just because some of the structure is simpler doesn't mean that it's not fatiguing. That's probably more fatiguing than what is it? Chick Chick Boom is in some elements, because Chick Chick Boom has a lot of isolations of the upper body, and so there's a lot of control that's required, but that's just, the rock and bounce will take you out if you're not conditioned for it. So I'm saying this is fantastic exercise, just like Thunder. So you notice how much of their, like the squat bounces they were doing in that, you know, it's like a fantastic example. So in a nutshell, I liked the choreo. It looks nice. Is it my favorite Stray Kids choreo in the world? Not 100%, unfortunately. But if I would say anything, I would say out of most groups that I've marathoned, they've had the most choreography tracks, the choreograph-based tracks that I've wanted to learn the choreo for, because it looks so fun. Like here, I will be learning jam. Don't get me wrong. I will for sure learn it. But would I look at this choreo and go, this is my favorite choreo? I still like Backdoor. I think that type of imagery and setup is really, really fun, but it is so exhausting for completely different reasons, because you're not only having to do, check your pace on it, check your fullness on it, but also you have to be in a very specific place in a very specific time to get a certain piece of imagery across. So all that to say, this was awesome. We be jamming. Dori Dori Jam Jam. We're here for it. I'm so glad we got to watch this. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. If you haven't noticed, there are a lot of Stray Kids analysis at this point that are not released on YouTube. I do a marathon every month of a K-pop group, and Stray Kids was a recipient of that a couple months ago, and so I've done well over 100 analysis prior to the recording of this, and only about probably less than 15 are released, if that tells you how much material is not available. And if you want access, I have a couple different tier options on Patreon that get you access to it. As they continue to release more material, more older reactions will get released, so it's not going to be gatekeeps forever. I'm not really that way. If you just want early access and you want it all in one go to binge, that's where Patreon comes in for good times, good vibes, and you can comment to your heart's content there. It's a really fun, safe community where we get to really share our perspective and grow together, myself included. So once again, my name is Jess, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.